Welcome everyone to my show. This is Coach Roman Ivanov, and today I'm honored to invite to my show Ray Allen with Pixel Property, one of the top agent in our ecosystem. He's serving Little Rock, Arkansas, and he's killing in his market. So welcome, Ray. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me, and thanks for the compliment. That's beautiful. I love that. Let's see. I started real estate in 2006. I was actually an assistant for a whole bunch of real estate agents at the time. So I would help agents market and sell properties. And back then there were no like 3D tours. So I was bringing the visual tours. I think that was the company I used most, and virtual tours. And I would do those for agents and set up one-page websites. And I marketed like 49 million in property for other agents. And I thought, if I had my license and sold all that, my life would be a lot different. So I got licensed in January of 2007, and I had an amazing 4 or 5 months. And then the world real estate market just started to crash around me. So to make a long story short, I wound up doing some business ventures, getting into commercial real estate, business brokerage, that kind of thing. I sold all that stuff and went back into residential real estate in 2013. And I really focused on processes and systems for a long time. You know, why did this client have a fantastic experience and why was this one a fantastic failure? What were the differences? What could I have done? What could have been said? How should I have set their expectations? And then I looked up after just a couple of years and I was one of the top agents in the area. So I thought, wow, I should start telling people. So I started putting the same attention to detail into marketing, and I would do a video and analyze how well that video did or didn't do. And in a pretty short order, it kind of launched me to some national stage because we were trying some things that only other industries were doing, but no one was doing in real estate. So we grew and expanded, launched my own company in 2018, and just continue to grow and look for opportunities to help agents.
Fantastic. What a story. So tell me, how big is your team right now?
My personal team is a very small team. It's me and like one other guy. Okay. And then we have a couple of people that help us show properties, because most of my focus these days is trying to help our agents grow their business. So we have about 30 agents or so overall. We have a couple of different support staff in our company. And most of my focus these days is on training, but I still sell, I think we sold like 60 houses last year. Not that many.
Wow.
Was, only a third of my time. So most of my efforts are now put to helping our agents succeed.
Wonderful. So what are the tips that you can share with Tom Ferry ecosystem, with my clients, on how to take it from where you were in 2007, 2008, when you were all on your own, and now you have all these agents working for you. So what would be the first step going from a single agent to start growing a team and start expanding the business, if you will?
That's a really good question. I think a lot of agents are attracted to real estate in part because we all have a bit of an ego, and we want to be on video and we want to be the HGTV person. We want to be Chip and Joanna Gaines, right? But I think the part that a lot of agents miss is mastering the craft of real estate first and becoming a genuinely great agent. And to be honest, I didn't do that in 2007 and 8 and 9. And that's why I didn't have massive success. I was so focused on the marketing side of it that when the market crashed, I didn't have the real estate chops to survive like I wanted. Now I do, but at the time I didn't. So when I got back into real estate, that focus that I put on for 2.5 years of my systems and processes and what makes this transaction good and that one bad, and trying to invest one experience into the next experience. Jim Rohn says it best. He says a lot of agents say that they have 10 years of experience, but in reality, they have 1 year repeated 10 times. And so if an agent can avoid that, and they can take one experience or one transaction and invest it into the next, and one transaction and invest it into the next, now when they have quote unquote only 10 transactions under their belt, they have 10 transactions that now they can invest into that 11th transaction. And that's a different way of looking at it. And on the flip side, somebody that's been in the industry 30 or 40 years is saying, oh my goodness, I guess I'm on my way out. No, you have 40 years to invest into your 41st year of real estate. What a different way to view that. And so I think most agents miss the boat on not focusing on actually mastering the craft of real estate and knowing what they're doing. They focus so much on marketing and lead generation and mastering a script. I'm going to say this script perfectly every time I call. And yeah, you're going to have some success, but you're going to flounder through the most important part of the process, which is a great customer experience, because you're not focused on the craft of real estate. It's not the hard part. The hard part of real estate is generally the lead generation. It's actually making your calls whenever you have call reluctance, and it's pushing through the uncomfortable aspect of being on video when you should be on video. That is the hard part of real estate. It's not hard to master the craft. It's just that most agents don't do it. Most agents they couldn't tell you what section 15 of their contract says. Why? Literally, that's your job. So I think as a new agent, or even as an experienced agent, I would spend some time really reflecting and mastering the craft, making sure I knew what I was doing before focusing on the marketing and trying to get additional business right now.
Love it, Ray. I'm taking it out. Mastering the craft of real estate is the key to success. And I really like your line that 10 years of experience, it doesn't necessarily mean you have 10 years. You have 10 years experience. Yeah. This is the message for my seasoned clients who've been in business for 10 years and they're struggling with the glass ceiling. That's the brilliant answer to that question.
In reality, there is no ceiling. The ceiling is whatever they make it, and it's whatever they're putting on themselves. So the reality is, if they take those years and invest them into their next, then they won't even see the ceiling. You don't even feel the ceiling. There's no ceiling.
There's no ceiling. Ceiling is in our heads, in our brains. Doesn't exist. Love it. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Ray. You mentioned the crash of 2008, and this becomes more and more popular topic with all the craziness that's going on in the market. And you've been there and you see the current market conditions. So I want to steer our attention from that side to the real estate market, how you feel it across the whole United States.
Yeah, this is a great question. Will the market crash or won't it crash? So back when the pandemic first hit, do you remember Susie Orman and what she was saying? Susie Orman said that right now, this was right when the pandemic, I guess it was in March or so, she had a post and a video, I think it was a video, but she basically said, don't buy a house right now. And she said, if you buy a house right now, your house is going to be worth half of what it is by the end of the year. And her claim was all these people would be foreclosing on properties. And when you buy a house and you pay $300,000, but then the neighbor gets foreclosed on and someone pays $150,000 and the other neighbor gets foreclosed on $150,000. Now that created comps and your home is worth $300,000, or that was worth $300,000 is now half. Well, we in the real estate industry know that that's not exactly how it works. But the mindset she was coming from was a 2008, the market's going to crash, subprime lending practices, all that kind of stuff. And that was what she was forecasting for late of 2020. If you took her advice and you did not buy until October, November, December, like she suggested, you paid about 20% more for the same property that you could have purchased in March of 2020. So there's a lot of people forecasting the crash. And if it does or if it doesn't, there's only one time in a 10-year period in history in which real estate has lost value. And that was in the 2008-9 time period. That's the only place that you can find a 10-year period in which real estate lost value. Every other time in history, since it's been tracked, real estate values have increased. If inflation strikes, historically, real estate values also increase. So I struggle to find a situation in which the market crashes. I can't even see an actual correction, which is a 10% change. I think home price gains are going to slow. We've already started to see those headlines. We've been talking about that on my little podcast for like 2 years, like watch for the headlines, home price gains slow. But that sounds like a big negative headline, but listen to what we're saying. Home prices are still gaining. They're just gaining at a slower rate. So if you are out of the market right now, you are in the biggest danger of not being able to take advantage of the market because inflation is going to increase. And if you're out of the market, you have no hedge against it. The rates that you're going to pay for your house are going to increase. And if you're out of the market right now, you're not getting any advantage of the increase in purchase prices or anything like that that's going to happen over time, but prices are also going to rise. So the person that really should be weary of the market is the one that's not in it. If you currently own real estate, you're in a great position. And even if you were to sell in the future in a buyer's market, let's say the whole country flips and now it's suddenly a buyer's market, most homes are going to maintain the gains that they've had through the seller's market. So you're going to sell in a buyer's market and maybe you take a little bit of a hit on the sell, but what are you going to do? You're going to turn around and buy in a buyer's market. So now you're going to get a great deal on the one you purchase. So the biggest risk are those that are not currently in the market and own real estate. Those are the ones that I would worry about during a quote unquote crash, because I don't see a crash. I see an affordability issue where houses are going to become less and less affordable.
Yeah, right. Wonderful. I keep making notes, and I suggest everyone who's watching this interview to take notes as well. The only person who should worry about these days, the one who's not in the market. If you don't own real estate right now, you're in trouble. Because right now, what I see, Fed's reporting inflation rates over 7% and interest rates, they just crossed 3% mark. So you're literally getting 4% back from the government just for owning real estate, not even counting that you have to pay off your debt slowly but surely, but also you're getting all that income coming from the difference between what you borrow and what's the inflation rate. And I think the inflation rate is much higher than 7%.
Well, and if you're a real estate agent, there's all kinds of tax benefits that you have that the average person doesn't. So real estate agents should be among the first to be preaching we should buy.
Absolutely. Good point. Good point. All right. Well, I think we answered this question very well. Thank you for sharing, Ray. I want to bring your attention back to real estate agents and your experience in this field. I know many agents shuffling this idea of how they can be as successful as you are on social media. Can you share some of the tricks that you use, the technology that you use, how you become so great and popular on social?
That's a good question. So it's focus and intention. and you might notice that people watching on video might notice a little bit of almost like a shutter thing that's happening. I'm in between computers, so I'm always trying to upgrade technology and upgrade what I'm doing. So I currently have this, I've replaced my big iMac with this little computer and have a big screen. It's just not made for what this is, but I've got the new M1 Max on the way. So I can't wait to get it. But you don't need any of that stuff to get quote unquote popular on Instagram. You can use your phone. Most people have an iPhone, and most of the iPhones shoot in 4K. And now with the new iPhone 13, it's got beautiful cinematography included in it as well. So you can just use what you have. The first thing I had was an iPhone 3, I think, or iPhone 4. And the first video I made was, I didn't have any money. And there was 2 open houses. I was going to do one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And I was headed out to do the videos to advertise the open houses. And I got a call. They weren't my listings. So I got a call from the agents that had them listed. And they said, hey, that property sold, it's under contract. Seller doesn't want to do an open house. So I was like, okay, so now I only have one left on Sunday. Got a call, and this is literally like within 5 minutes. They said, hey, that one sold too. They don't want to do the open house. So I'm like, all right. So now I don't have any way to make money this weekend. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any listings. All I had was my phone. So I posted on Facebook this video, and I used iMovie, which is the free editor on an iPhone. I used an iPhone 4. I turned my camera around, and the message was, don't wait on the open house. And I said, hey guys, some of you know I was going to hold these 2 homes open, and I advertised the home, and I said the same thing in front of each house, and then I just clipped it. And towards the end, it was getting faster and faster. So the basic phrasing was, you know, this 123 Main Street, this 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, it's a beautiful house, and the other home, and then I was in front of the other one. I said, you know, 123 Blueberry Street, whatever it was. You know, I told a little bit about the house, and then I started to say, but don't wait on the open house, because you never know when a home's going to sell. And if you wait on the open house, you might be too late. And that last sentence I said, I cut back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it got faster, faster towards the end. It was a real low budget edit, right? It was just me trying to figure out how to use my phone. I never edited a video using iMovie before like that. And so I was just trying to figure out how to use my phone. I wound up posting the video, and I got more activity from that video than I would have gotten from either of the open houses. And the activity I got wasn't from strangers who would have been the ones showing up from open houses. The activity I got was from my sphere and the people that know me and love me anyway. The people that are like, oh, Ray, I can't believe that happened. I got this buddy that's thinking about selling. You should talk to him. Or, oh, Ray, that's so bad. I can't believe that happened with your business. You can't do any open houses this week. I'm so sorry, but call my mom. She's looking to buy. And so I started getting like legit people being like, here, let me help you. And the video I had wasn't a call for help. I wasn't saying, please help me, I've lost my open houses. I was saying, guys, don't wait on the open houses. But what my sphere saw is me giving a message to them and value to them. And in exchange, they gave me value. And that started to change how I looked at social media. So from now on, from that moment on, I was like, I'm going to give as much value to social media, to the people that are out there as possible. And eventually that value will return to me, hopefully in the form of money. But if it returns to me in attaboys or follows or whatever, hopefully that will eventually translate into money. And so I just focused on giving value. Fast forward to I guess it was 2 Octobers ago. Yeah. I wasn't doing well on Instagram. And I thought, well, I feel like a lot of people are going to Instagram. I should do better. I hired a lifestyle photographer, and the goal was to prove to my agents at the time that lifestyle photography does not work. And so I hired a lifestyle photographer for 30 days. I did one big shoot. I had 30 days of content. I started posting one a day, and boy, was I wrong. People really like lifestyle content, but they like lifestyle content with posts that are personal. They don't like just a post of you in a fancy outfit saying, if you want to buy or sell or invest, call me. That doesn't work. But if I took a picture of myself in someone's kitchen, or had the lifestyle photographer take a picture of myself in someone's kitchen, and then I talked about kitchen design and the aspects of kitchens and why people love them and how they are the heart of the home for most families, people really related to that. They liked it. Or if I took a picture, I posted one recently of me playing with some Legos. And I think I was talking about building something, and how, when I was a kid, I would build with Legos and I would tear it down and build it again, tear it down and build it again. And I never looked at tearing down those Legos like a failure. It was just part of the process to build up something better. And that was just a message from the heart that I had, that when I took the photo of me playing with Legos, I didn't have that in mind. But one day I had the idea and I already had that photo. So then I posted the photo. Well, then I go to this real estate conference and a guy's like, hey, just so you know, those posts that you do that are long form, I really like those and I read them. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool that he reads those. Cause I was kind of like, is anybody actually reading this? So just being yourself in a way is what drives the traffic. Giving value and being authentically you on social media gives value. Now, you also have to understand the platform. A lot of people on Instagram like the professional photos if it's a still photo. They also like the very authentic videos and not necessarily the over professional videos. They like something that's pretty authentic looking and raw on video, but as a photo, they really like a nice polished photo. So just taking a little bit of time to understand the platform and then giving value to the people on that platform will return to you either clients or friends, family that are more interested in you, or views and follows. So in a pretty short time, my following on Instagram nearly doubled. And all I did was be a little bit more intentional about what I posted and how, and I used whatever I had around me. And I continue to upgrade, now, like I have sitting here to my right, this robot that I built that I'm going to be doing a post on. It's not actually a robot, but it looks like a robot. It's got all this stuff on it. Like there's a camera swung out in front of me and it's got this, and I've got the light. And so I've got all these pieces, but you don't have to start with that. Like I just started with my phone. So just start with what you have and focus on giving value. And then over time, upgrade. But for now, just start with what you got.
Love it, Ray. My note from your speech was giving value is so much more powerful rather than following the trends or even consistency. I'm not saying that it's not important, but the key is providing the value, like you explained with photos. If you're just a fancy guy in a suit next to Ferrari asking, call me, I can sell your house. Yeah. It's not bringing the value, but you wearing your pajama or you standing in the kitchen.
A good one.
I love that picture. I still remember that picture. It was so eye-catching, and it will influence and connect with your future clients on a much, much higher level. Love it, love it.
But let's use your example of the guy standing by a Ferrari, right? Because that seems like, okay, it's kind of unreachable, untouchable. But there are people that are in the market out there that would see that and they could relate to that because they drive a Ferrari and they wear suits everywhere. So how does an agent make a bougie photo like that actually relevant to their people? Well, what are some things that luxury buyers think about when purchasing a Ferrari that also think about when they purchase a home? Where to store their car? So you could talk about the garage space for a Ferrari or a raised lift in that garage, and how if you're a luxury buyer, one of the things you don't want to forget to look at is the ceiling space in the garage. And if you can install your lift for your nice cars, that way your everyday driver can go in and out easily. But this Ferrari, you might not want parked where your kids can ding it with their basketball, right? So now suddenly that post of you near a fancy Ferrari relates to a certain set of clientele and provides some value as to what they should look for whenever they're buying. Now, I don't drive a fancy Ferrari and I don't really know exactly what a luxury buyer is looking for in that market. But if you are in that market or space, just finding ways to relate with them with the toys that they have.
Brilliant idea. Love it. Yeah. The right message should be addressed to the right addressee, to the person who's consuming your content. So thinking a little further than just posting a picture and expecting the public to react on this, we need to build that avatar of our audience. What message are we sending? If we're working with a luxury agents, yes, it's a great idea to post a picture of Ferrari, but if you post a picture next to Ferrari and your target audience is first-time home buyers, I think it might irritate them a little. Would you agree?
Yeah. Because then they see, okay, this rich real estate guy, and they don't really want to use a rich real estate guy. They want to use someone like them.
Right. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, Ray, we'll wrapping up this interview. If you want to say a couple words to ecosystem, to my clients, maybe give your personal advice on how to grow their business before we finish this interview.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, I just appreciate the opportunity to talk to the ecosystem that's given me so much. And one of the reasons I'm in it is because of the referrals and everything we get from being in it, and the relationships, and those relationships over time have given me a lot of good advice that I've implemented, and the masterminds that we've had. So it's fun to me just to be able to give back a little bit any way I can. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. It's probably the best way to get me. It's Ray Zorback, RayZorback. Just shoot me a message on there. And if you have any additional questions or anything, or any clarifications, I'd be happy to help. To answer the question of how to grow the business, I mean, Tom drills it into our heads. You got to make the calls. So no amount of social media, in my opinion, will replace a phone call. You can get to the point in your business where most of the time you're getting called, but you still have to call back, and you still have to make those connections. And so follow up. I think the fortune is in the follow-up, whether it's from social media or phone calls or whatever. So that kind of covers everything, I think.
Love it, Ray. Yeah, you answered the question that most of the new agents asking me when they join coaching. What is that secret pill? What is that technology you can use in order to grow the business? And you just answer it.
It's a better CRM. We all need better CRMs, right? No, it's everybody get a different CRM, one that does more things. You change every year. No, I'm kidding.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for joining me for this interview. It was a pleasure. I respect you and your business, and I hope we'll set another interview one day.
Yeah, it'd be fun, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, Ray. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Bye-bye.